Me and Nicole.
Hello, everybody! Get in here. Get in here. You already know what time it is. You see our lovely faces, so you know what time it is. Get in here. It is Thursday. We are ready for you. Ladies takeover. Let's go. Come on. Let me get to my sharing. Hold on. Let me share. I need everybody to see this because it's going down today, ladies and gentlemen. It is going down. Woo. We have an exciting show for you today, and we are so excited. Come on, get in here. Trying to wait till we gotta get all of our people in here. Let's go.
Hello to who is already watching us. Hi,
let's go.
Oh, is it Anthony? Oh, okay.
Anthony.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Ben. What's up, family? What's up, Ben?
Hello, Ben.
Get in here, y'all. Hey, we got an exciting show. I promise you, you will not be disappointed with today's show. Come on, like, share. If you know some women who like football, please share it to them because we are trying to advertise for our girls too.
That's right. Woo.
Get in here, please. Come on, guys. Get in here. Man, I'm excited to see you guys today.
Yes.
Hello.
It's going down.
It is going down. I'm so happy the new time works for everybody. I was like, you know what? Let's just shift everything. We're all too busy. We love football, but we're all busy women. And so
this works. This time works. It gives me time to get home.
Yes.
Get the baby ready.
Not rush
today. I can't wait. All right, guys, we got to start the show. I'm really excited. Welcome to Ladies Takeover. Let's talk football. Let's go.
Woo.
We are super excited to have you guys here. We're going to introduce ourselves just in case you didn't know, but by now you should know us because we're the, if you didn't know, we were voted one of the best new shows. The best new shows. So you should know our names, but we got to go around, introduce ourselves. I am Janae Struther, and the wonderful girl I have above me is
Delilah. Hey, what's up? You can catch me on Tuesday nights on the Round Table with Nick and Anthony Handy. Tina pops in and co-hosts a lot more often now. I know you've seen her the last few weeks. And then Sean, always behind the scene producing, helping us with all those videos and banners and stuff. Because even when he's not hosting, he always is behind the scenes. As y'all know, because he busted it on one of our show once, which is memorable. He made a clip of that, Janae. I don't know if you saw Round Table last night.
Yes.
I used that one. But yeah, so anyway, and of course, every Thursday, I hang out with all these lovely ladies and talk about football.
Let's go. And the wonderful lady that's right next to her is...
I am the creator of Let's Talk Football Ladies Takeover. I asked these fabulous women to come on this journey with me and to talk football because who else would I rather want to talk football than with four dynamic women that know the game? So, and I am still and always will be Tom Brady's biggest fan, no matter what happens with him in his career. And I am Kate Elverson, and I am happy to have all of you here watching us, ladies, the Fab Five tonight.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. And we also have right next to her, who?
Oh, it's me. Sorry. I was looking at something else. I am and my name is Ash. I was not paying attention. I was listening, but not looking. So you can find me on Swinton's Unfiltered, which is where I act like a hot mess, which is just what was happening there. I'm also on the fantasy show when fantasy is happening. We do a morning show on the off season. I have a new off-season show coming. Spoiler alert.
Ooh, oh,
Let's
That's all I'm
go.
gonna give you. And
Let's
then
go.
Swinton's Unfiltered will be doing some stuff during the off season too, so I'm excited about that. I'm sad football's almost over, but I'm excited for new things happening in the off season. But yeah, that's me.
Let's go. Let's go.
Nice.
And our complete, the girl who makes the Fab Five complete.
Woo.
My name is Nicole, and I'm a resident Saints fan that's sitting on the bench, but that's okay. You can find me with a happy face and a good smile on the NFC South Takeover with Mr. Yacy Kyle and Mr. Food Bar Andrew and Spencer Sean. So
Woo.
that's interesting.
Yay.
Football. So,
I
yeah.
love it. I love it.
I love how you introduced them.
Me too.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. And if you didn't know, I'm a co-host with my boy Sean Spencer for
That's
Let's
right.
Talk Football.
Woo.
Man, it is just such a dynamic thing to see all of these ladies, and not just on this show, but on all the shows you can catch us. So if you don't catch this one on a Thursday night, please tune in. Usually around 8:00 every night there is a show. So
Yeah,
please
it's true.
tune in to the Let's Talk Football station on Facebook. We are ready
Woo.
to receive you because that's what we do. We love to talk the game of football. So we got to get into the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we're so excited to have you guys today. And all that trash you guys were talking about certain teams last week looks like it quiet this week. We'll talk about that.
Before we get
We'll
into
talk
the
about that.
fun,
Oh,
some really breaking happy news about one of our LTF family. Woo! Congratulations! Yay!
Are engaged. Congratulations. Love is so beautiful. Love is in the air. And we got to celebrate it when we have somebody in our football family who is excited about starting to love with his
Yes.
the love of his life. It's just amazing. It's amazing, ladies. I'm excited.
Yes.
I love it.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Maybe we can air the future wedding on the Let's Talk Football Network. Let's see.
Hey.
Live.
Shameless
That
plug,
would be
shameless
sweet.
plug.
Well,
That
together
would be
to the
sweet.
family.
Yes.
Oh man,
Oh,
so we
that's
gotta harp off
beautiful.
of that good news, and we gotta start. Just one of our first segments is the wild card recap, baby. The wild card weekend, ladies. I don't know about you guys, but I thoroughly enjoyed every single game that was played. Thoroughly enjoyed. But I mean, we got to get on to it. We got to talk about some important games. So, ladies, let's just go ahead and start off with the Bengals and the Ravens. What you guys think?
I was happy. My boy won. Woo, woo.
Smokey Smooth was able to pull it off.
Yes, yes.
But it was crazy, though. Like, it wasn't like a game where I thought
Mm-mm.
the Bengals offense was going to do a lot more than what it was. I did not think that Huntley was even going to be able to keep them neck and neck for a majority of the game. It was kind of exciting. Delilah, what you think?
I was actually disappointed in the Cincinnati, to be honest. Like I expected a lot more. No hate on, Huntley. It's not that, but it's when you know that they have multiple injuries, and it wasn't just the fact that Huntley was in, they lost a lot of players. Like the Ravens were pretty much, depleted in a lot of different areas. And for you to barely win, I have to say, I feel based on that performance that if Mr. QB1 had played that game, I don't think we'd be seeing Cincinnati move on because he would have made that. We know this because he's done it before. He would have made that end zone rushing touchdown. Okay, right? We know that. Like,
You've done that plenty of times.
you know what I'm saying? And so unfortunately, I feel like Cincinnati should have been way more aggressive. I don't think they were as aggressive as they couldn't be. I honestly was expecting a lot more from Chase. I mean, I know he got a touchdown, but I expected him to ball out. I mean, I just expected all the offensive, especially the RBs and the wide receivers to just light them up. Like I honestly was expecting a light show, and for you to barely win. And now you're going into we won't talk about the divisional games, but you're going to play someone that you can't do that with. You can't do that.
But they barely won
You know
their
what I'm
game
saying?
either.
So, like, all I'm saying is just
They barely eked out their game though, too. So
I just feel like the Bengals should have done better than that. And I'm not the only one. Like, that was actually pretty lackluster, in my opinion. Like, they barely beat
Absolutely.
the Ravens. And so, I don't know. So, good luck in the divisional round, but I honestly did expect more. I mean, kudos.
I can understand that. I can understand that, Kate. I know you're feeling some type of way. How you feeling about it? Were you excited after the game, or were you more like, "Wow, what happened?"
this was like a back-to-back game though, because they had just already played the Ravens. So I feel like the Ravens went back and immediately made adjustments and figured out how to better play the Bengals. But in the end, I think that I just feel like the Bengals didn't play with all their full tank. Like they were leaving something behind and saying, we're just going to barely beat them and maybe not show all our cards.
Yeah.
We know we can do this. Some
Absolutely.
teams do that. And then the next game, they're like, okay, we're going to do lights out and beat you 51-7.
That's very true. I mean, it's
just
just like last year. Last year, they had a whole bunch of high-powered games.
right.
And they were just so offensively cooking that it kind of was like a shock.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I feel like, I don't know if they were just like, we're just going to show you enough and beat you enough. And then, but even Joe Burrow said, I played like shit. He said that in his post-game press conference.
Yes, he did.
So,
Yes, he did.
and he said, I know I'm going to do a lot better next week because Cincinnati deserves better of me. So I do feel they're going to go into Buffalo with a lot of momentum, and I think he's not going to settle for the same performance twice, and I don't think he's going to settle for it from his team twice.
Yeah.
So I know he's got high expectations, and I know he wants to prove everybody wrong and make it all the way again. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, it wasn't the game that I was expecting, but I also feel like, there's teams that like want to hide a little bit and want to keep back because they're going against Buffalo next week. So we'll see.
Will see.
But I'm hopeful.
All right, so you like your little boy smoking smooth. I can't ask.
Well, now that one of my players is out, I'm full throttle behind this one.
I'd like to think that we had something to do with that, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Ash, how you feel about the game?
Let's just say that I didn't think there was anything wild happening in the jungle there over at Cincinnati. That was probably my least favorite game of the week. It was just very I expected a lot more from this Bengals offense. The injuries to Jonah Williams and then Alex Kappa are obviously massive injuries that are already a considered weak O-line now just took a massive hit too. So that's really concerning moving into next week. I haven't looked at their injury report, so I'm not sure if they're playing next week or what's going on there. But I don't know. I just wanted more. You just think of the Bengals and you think of that high-powered offense, and you just didn't really get that. So that was a little disappointing. I know it's a division team. Divisions are always hard to play, even if all your starters aren't in there. But
true.
It was just very meh to me. It was okay. I'm glad the Bengals won. I like the Bengals. I'm not a huge fan of the Ravens. Sorry. So I'll take a Bengals win, I guess.
Sorry, Nathan. Nah. All right, Nicole.
This Burrows man did exactly what I wanted him to do and won. Woohoo!
There you go.
There was also what I thought was noted, and I think you guys did touch on a good point of how come they weren't springing into action, And I think it's because they played the NFC South division during their season. And our dip's not the best. So maybe that, they got back in there in that kind of mind frame, but then quickly snapped out of it and realized they're in the playoffs. So that's
that could be the case. Could be the case.
That's a good point. They were given too many easy games, is what you're saying.
I
Nicole's responses. Nicole's the best when it comes to the responses. But we gotta
I love
move
you,
on to the
Nicole.
next game. We gotta move on to the very next game, which was meh. In my opinion, I just didn't. I was actually shocked. But Miami and Buffalo.
That's another one.
What in the world? Because in everybody's mind, and all of us, we all unanimously said there was no chance Miami would stay in this game. It was going to be a complete blowout. But ladies, another shocker. A complete neck and neck game the whole entire time until the very end. Delilah, what was up with this one?
The picks, man. Listen, I love Massive Piece of Magic, but he's gotta not do that. And the thing is that he's a good quarterback, but he's known for throwing costly picks. Like, he is known for that, right?
Yeah.
And so he is known for that. And honestly, one, kudos to Skylar Thompson for having a nice showing in a playoff game as a rookie. Like, I'm not gonna hate on that. That kid, they were like, you're suiting up. Like, all right, coach, I'm in. You know what I mean? It's like,
And he didn't look bad.
No,
He did not look
he
bad
did
at all.
it. Like, I mean, you know, they almost beat him. That's all I'm saying. And I think it goes to you know, what Sean shared, you know, through her comments on Tuesday, is they were lucky that Waddle and Tyreek both had drop balls, right? Which is uncommon. But you know, they're lucky that they dropped those balls a few times, because I think they actually could have overtaken the Bills and shot everyone, because they were really
100%.
close. They were really
100%.
close. It was a very long game. I'm not gonna lie. I had to switch
my
sometimes
God.
to something else, because I was like, when is this over? Like, what's going on?
Because eventually you thought the Bills were just going to take off.
It just, you know,
And the very another touchdown would come back, and you'd be like, damn,
I'm
they
telling
really
you,
won this
honestly,
game.
all Miami needed was like a field goal to tie and go into overtime, because there was not that space, you know. And so
Yeah.
all I know is, like, honestly, like, after what the Bills been through, we know with the Mar and everything like that. But at the same time, again, like, Miami has really great offensive pieces, and they obviously showed it. Those guys are still talented. Yes, you know, Waddle and Tyreek both had dropped balls, but they also had great catches, right? Waddle had some great catches, like, you know.
Yes,
They're
did.
They're really talented, and, you know, and it's unfortunate that they didn't have Tua, because, you know, actually, based on seeing that Bills and Miami game without Tua could have beaten them, honestly. Like, if you just kind of look at
Agreed.
what was there, you know what I mean? And so, but
Totally agree.
kudos to Miami, honestly, like, actually staying competitive, because that part was exciting, that they stayed that they weren't steamrolled, like, so not just us, but all the experts outside of our little, you know, internet show was saying the same thing we did.
Absolutely.
And so,
Absolutely.
you know, so I'm not gonna hate on that. Like, kudos on them. And, like, Bills, man, I don't know, but you can't play like that against Cincinnati. So it'll be interesting to see these two teams that everyone thought was just gonna roll over the opponents didn't do that. And so, well, it'll be interesting to see what their game plan is, because, you know, 'cause they did not show out the way we thought they were going to show out.
I think that each of the teams can look at some, you know, some play from last week and be like, okay, we got some things to capitalize on. Hey, Nicole, how do you feel about the game?
Well, Bills, they won. That's good. I picked them. They're great. But the last quarter, there was no points from them. Like, none. And so I was, you know, they're very lucky that they didn't get, you know, another like two-point conversion at some point, and then just a field goal. They could have won it. So I did say to Bobby, I messaged him and said, like, you know, very respectable. They didn't take it lying down. And I don't know about their coach. Well, actually, never mind. I was gonna say maybe their coaches are safe, but that's not the case. No.
No, you're so nice to message him. That's sweet.
That is sweet, because I know Bobby was pretty sad,
Yeah.
but they
But
did
you
go
should
out with a
I
bang.
agree with you. I agree with
They
you,
should be
Nicole.
proud.
Yeah,
They
I
should be
agree.
absolutely proud. Kate, what you think?
I was very disappointed in how Buffalo played. Very disappointed, very lackluster, very just like, again, I think they thought they were going to go in and probably win dominantly and didn't play up to their potential. And I think that it showed a lot of flaws in their offense and in their defense.
Yes.
And again, we go back to what would they look like fully healthy? They've been without Von Miller most of the season. So that's a key piece to your defense that you're missing out on. So, I really can't wait for the beginning of next season to see all these teams fully healthy, everyone playing, the stars playing, the big ones playing.
Yeah, yep.
Because I think that this season, with all the injuries, it's really showed where teams have flaws. And I think I was really just unimpressed with, like Nicole said, that fourth quarter. I was like, oh, the Bills are punting again. Oh, the Bills are punting again. Oh my God. Ash is right. Thank God for the punter, because he was out there.
Makes for a long game when the punter has to keep coming out.
Oh my God. And do you know what's crazy is I started that game watching it at work, and I ended it by listening to it in my car. So that's when you know it's a very long football game.
It was.
So, but I think it let Zach Taylor from the Bengals see a lot of their faults too. So I hope he coaches to their faults. So thank you, Buffalo, for giving my other team a little bit of what needs to happen. But I think Tua, had he been healthy, would have beat the Bills handedly, because he can run and he can do other things that Skylar Thompson can't do.
Not yet, right?
You put in a healthy Tua, they would have been explosive, Miami, and I think they would have won that game.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely. 100%. Ash, what you thinking?
That was just a sloppy game to me. I mean, Josh Allen with all the he had 2 picks. Miami, they kept dropping balls. Jalen Waddle dropped a few. Tyreek Hill dropped a massive one. I mean, if you take those drops away, I think Miami wins even with Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It was just the game lasted forever because the defense kept forcing punts, which was great. But I mean, I know it was just sloppy. It was messy. It was gross. I didn't like it. I'm like, you're not going to make it very far in the playoffs if you keep doing this. We all want to scream about Dak Prescott and all his turnovers and stuff. Well, we should be yelling at Josh Allen to figure it out too, because you're just not going to win like that. And I know playoff games are not normally blowouts or like your little games where everything goes your way, but it's just a mess. I really had the Bills being my favorite the whole season to win the Super Bowl, and now I'm looking at them like, you play like that against the Chiefs, good luck, bud. Like, good luck. It's sad, but
if they make it that far.
Yeah, exactly. If you even get it that far at this point. I'm hoping they turn around because I absolutely love that team. But
me too.
I don't know. It was messy. It was just a very that game and the Bengals game I was excited for, and then they came out and I was like, oh no, this is not good.
It wasn't great.
I tell you, I mean, I mixed them up on Tuesday because they both did the same thing. Where I was like, what happened?
Both did the same thing.
I mean, at least they were close games, so they were like worth kind of sticking around to the end for, not just big blowouts. But
still was a shocker. I mean, we hope you guys are chiming in the comments. We want to know what you guys think about the AFC side, because that's what we just talked about. But we got to get into these NFC games.
These are the best ones.
First, we'll start off with the New York Giants defeating the Minnesota Vikings, which is crazy game.
Frauds.
I don't know, because I didn't get to see Justin Jefferson too often. I don't know what the heck happened during that game.
Fraud.
Tyler, what the hell happened to the Vikings?
Fraud.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Janae was so hyped. I don't know. I was like, yeah, Janae.
It was like me. Like,
you girl.
Because you were hyping. I was like, wait, did she toss it to me? All right, no. So I was like, what is going on? Now, one, I did think the Giants were going to put up a good game because they do have a good coach and they're very talented. So I never thought that ever walking in that Minnesota was just going to steamroll them. That was never, ever in my mind at all. But my God, the play calling. I don't know who their offensive coordinator is. Okay? But who calls for a 3-yard pass on a 4th and 8?
At the end to win, like you need to get down the field.
And Hawkinson is great. He had a great game, by the way. Poor guy. He was like everywhere. As great as he is, he had like 3 defenders on him. Like, I don't understand that last call, especially because it actually could have overtaken the Giants and won.
Yeah,
but they win with that.
Slayton was like right behind him. There was he was like directly behind him.
That poor Slayton, my heart broke because he could have even extended that lead, with the touchdown we saw. Like he almost, I felt so bad. But I want to say kudos to Brian Daboll because that man is a humble, wonderful leader because he did not make that man feel worse than he was. And that is a leader, okay? That man was already dejected. He looked down. He already felt awful. He didn't beat up on that guy. He hugged him. He said, it's going to be okay. Like, that is just, man, I hope he wins Coach of the Year just because that shows you don't have to be, I'm sorry, but that old school, like, yelling and cursing and being awful and belligerent off your players, that doesn't work. That's gone. That's done. And so I honestly appreciated Brian Daboll for doing that. But kudos to the Giants getting one on Minnesota and knocking them out of the playoffs. Listen, I'm not going to be upset because they're in my division, and I don't have to hear the blowing horns anymore.
Oh my God, that thing was driving me crazy.
And honestly, the fact that they didn't use Justin Jefferson blew my mind.
Yes.
I didn't understand also that decision because that kid, we know even when he's double covered, somehow he catches a ball. We've seen him do it during the regular season. We remember that infamous catch, right? And so that's the other reason why Minnesota lost. They didn't use the number 1 receiver, by the way, he came in at top during the regular season. So I don't understand why you didn't use that man as much as possible. And that last call is like 4th and 8. Fire the offensive coordinator, y'all. Like, if you can't fire the head coach, I get it. But someone's got to get the axe. But whoever called for a 3-yard pass on a 4th and 8 has got to go. Anyway.
Justin Jefferson had 47 yards, ladies and gentlemen, with 7 receptions. That's it. In a game where it's do or die, your best player had 7 receptions. That's all I got to say. All right. Who we going? Ash, who you think? What do you think?
All right. Well, I totally didn't think the Giants had any chance. And Sydney was in my ear all weekend. Be like, the Giants have a chance. The Giants have a chance. I'm like, do you see how the Giants play us? They don't have a chance. So apparently the Giants just suck in their division. I love that the Giants won because I think that if we get past this round and somehow they beat the Eagles, that's a walk to the Super Bowl for me.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, but I don't think they can beat us. I don't think they can beat the Eagles, but I hope they do. I hope they get another win.
I don't know who human being
shameless plug.
But I don't.
In there.
Yeah, I don't know who's called that. Wes Phillips is their OC. I don't know if he's the one that calls the play or if they have a new coach this year. What's his name? O'Connell.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Connell. So I don't know if that's just I don't even know. Because as a coach, I don't know how you let him run that route. That's the most Jason Garrett thing I've ever seen. You need 8 yards, you run a route for 4, and that's who you give the ball to. I mean, I think it was a combination of bad play call. Why did you run a route that was 4 yards short of the first down? Kirk Cousins, why did you throw it there? I would have been like, F it. Jettas is down there somewhere. At least give your team no one would have been mad at you if you just would have bombed it and hoped Jefferson caught it.
I mean, I would have
even if he didn't catch it, they would be like, oh, that sucks, but whatever. That was a terrible decision by everybody. It was so bad. I think my jaw was on the floor at the end of the game. What just happened? What just
Oh, yeah.
happened?
Exactly, Anthony. Exactly. The same thing with the Super Bowl. When
Awful.
You Super Bowl when you have Marshawn
Yeah.
Lynch. That's how you felt. The same thing last year when the Dallas Cowboys had no time left and they tried to run it back to the line. That's how it felt at the end of that game.
Oh,
It
yeah.
felt like a sickening, like, ugh.
Yeah.
Kate, what do you think?
I think it exposed some fraudulent play by the
Yeah.
Vikings. They're frauds. That was just totally exposed when I kind of underneath my skin knew all along about Kirk Cousins and the Vikings, that they weren't as good as they portrayed themselves to be throughout the season. I think it really exposed a lot. And when you have the young, talented Justin Jefferson and you're not using him, you have to say, what the hell is going wrong in these coaches' minds? Because the man can ball out. The man has been proven to show he can be open when he's not open. He can leap when he shouldn't be able to leap those bounds. And I'm
You're one of
just
the best wide receivers in the league. Like,
I
top
know.
3, you need to run with him.
And then I was just like, why did they keep giving it to Delvin Cook so much? I'm like, he wasn't getting yardage. He wasn't running well.
Mm-mm.
He was
Nope.
getting 2 yards here, 3 yards there. I'm
Right.
like, when your running back is not getting yardage, you have to air it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wait a minute. Why do they keep giving it back to their running back
It was
when
so
they're not
bad.
producing? I was
So
just
bad.
like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
So bad.
It was like, and then I was very happy for Daniel Jones because he's gotten
Yeah.
not the most love in the world
Right.
in the NFL this season. So when I saw Daniel Jones doing well, and we have to admit it, he kind of like him. He's a dookie. I love
He
the
balled
Green
out. He
Devils.
balled out.
He balled out. And I
Mhm.
think he shut down a little bit of the hate that he's been given in the NFL this season, because not a lot of people have showed him the love that I think he's deserved, because the Giants are not one of those teams you expected to get where they got this season.
That's very true.
So, I mean, give it to the NFC East because they're really
Mhm.
representing
They
Let's
are.
go.
who
They
the
really
top
are.
they are out of all the divisions and out of all the teams. I did not
Great
expect
teams.
them to be as wildly popular as they are in the playoffs, but go. But yeah. And I'm sorry, but I do want to see them get defeated in the next round. So
Rude.
because I love some Eagles.
Woo!
You know me. I always love the teams and the players everyone else hates. So
Yes, that is Kate. That is Kate. All right, Nicole, finish this off. What did you think about the game?
Okay, well, I think that this is a good segue into a little karaoke, because what does Aqua and the Giants have in common? A little song called Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones, calling Dr. Jones, wake up now. He's awake, okay? And he
Dr. Jones is awake.
We need that one next, okay?
Yeah, we need the clip. Whoever's the clip master, please get
Oh my
Dr.
god.
Jones.
oh my god, this is the best.
Please.
They better play that in the stadium. I'm just saying.
They
They
bet.
should.
They
They
bet.
should hire
You-
you to
they
do
should.
that every
You
time.
You know how hype you would make Danny Dimes? You made me hype, and I'm hype. You know what I'm
To
saying? Like,
play Dr. Jones in the absolutely.
Danny Dimes will be like, "All right, I got this."
Yeah, I've never
Oh my
looked
God,
at the
this is
Giants
great.
before, and now I'm looking. So
See, look, now she's looking. She's just, and I do have to say this because I see we're reading the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Anthony, stop it. We've spent a good amount of time on the AFC. I got excited talking about the one game. I didn't even mention our game yet. So settle down.
We're saving the best for
All
last.
4
It's
teams are not
fine.
represented, Sean. All 4 teams are not. 3. 3 and a
4
East.
teams.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
said 4.
see one. I can't see one. I don't know. I'm failing to see where they're at.
Flip
Oh,
idiot.
they're out.
One of the AFC games.
Oh, because we missed the Chargers. That's all it was, and Jaguars. That's what he was saying.
Well, that's because that game was a freaking
yeah,
mess.
we did miss the Chargers and the Jaguars. But we can talk about the Chargers and the Jaguars.
I love that
game. Let's go straight into that game, which was a great game. It was a great game. Two young quarterbacks duking it out. The Jaguars were able to pull it off, ladies and gentlemen. Ash, how you feeling about the Jaguars pulling off?
Imagine you're watching the game and you're at halftime. It was like, wow, the Jags to win is plus 1060. I should bet that. And you bet it. And then you cashed out with the last 2 minutes of the game. When you could have just stayed in and won a whole bunch of money. I'm so salty.
Ash would have been rich, ladies and gentlemen. Ash would have been very, very rich.
You seen me on here, I would have been out. I wouldn't have that much.
She would have been very, very, very rich, guys. She definitely would have been rich if she would have kept that bet.
I mean, that shit was crazy.
You're not Ash. You're not that guy that lost $1.4 million.
Oh my God,
be happy you're not that dude.
If you ever think like, oh, I'm just gonna drop a lot of money on this because it's definitely gonna turn green, don't do it. Don't do it.
Do it. Don't lose $1 million off of that bet. Nicole,
sick.
What do you think, Nicole?
Well, now I know about Waffle House exists.
Are there not Waffle Houses in Canada?
No. So that's on my
No Waffle House.
No, so he put it on the market. And I wanted the Jags to win. So I was awesome game.
It was. What a way to come back. Kate, how you feel?
I feel very, very good because I love Trevor Lawrence. I love that young kid. And after seeing what Urban Meyer, that sorry sack of a coach, did to them last year, I want greatness for this young man because I know he can ball out. I know he's a great quarterback. I saw what that kid did at Clemson, and I know he can win. He won a championship there, and I know he's got a heart for this game. So now to see that Peterson is using this young man and his abilities and his talents, and let's just face it, that Jaguars defense completely shut down the Chargers in that second half and helped rally that spurt to give the Jaguars that win. And I was never more happy because, oh my God, those flowing locks of T-Law. I mean, it was the battle of the hair. Which was or Lawrence, but let's just fix it. If you're into college football, you know how talented Trevor Lawrence is.
Yeah.
And this young man is so talented. And now that he's got a coach, I'm just so happy for him. And I really wanted the Jaguars to win because I really love Trevor Lawrence. I've loved him since Clemson. And that's hard for me to say because I'm not a big Clemson fan. But I will.
Oh, that's right. You're a Bama fan. Yeah.
I'm Michigan first, Bama second, but I will rally behind him because I can look past sometimes the teams I don't like and see the talent that he is. And I just want this young man to do really, really well in the NFL. I really do. So I was very happy for him. And the Waffle House is an iconic place.
The bomb!
It is an iconic place in America that, Nicole, I will have to take you to one if you ever make it to the States.
They're
pretty high.
Hey, but you have to give her the real Waffle House experience and go to, like after midnight.
Yes.
The dirtier, the better.
Yes.
Dirty when you walk in the call. That's the location.
We're taking her to Waffle House, okay?
But Nicole's like, Americans are disgusting.
Because it definitely will be gross. But trust me.
You know he called ahead because some of his teammates had never been, and he called ahead and said, I'm taking you guys to Waffle House.
Oh my goodness.
They set aside part of the restaurant for him. So when he
Aw.
walked in that
And
night,
they're not big locations, ladies and gentlemen. They're all
They're
tiny
tiny,
hole in
Like
the wall.
little diner type, yeah.
Yeah, basically, he took over the restaurant. That's basically what that means because he took like the whole team. So.
Literally. Which is awesome because they said the fans and everybody
love
were
it.
out there. They said it was freaking madhouse. I
was-
just love the fact that he went to Waffle House. Delilah,
Me
what you
too.
think about it?
Listen, I thought it was great, to struggle in the first half. So he threw 4 picks in the first half of the game. And then I joked about this on Tuesday because Peyton Manning insists that halftime nothing happens. Guys go to the bathroom, they eat some oranges, they come back out. But obviously there are some teams. Now, if you're Peyton Manning, you probably don't need an adjustment speech, right? So you probably don't hear those. But other teams like the Jaguars who had 4 picks because T-Law was picked 4 times. The Chargers were on a roll. So something happened in that halftime locker room because the team in the second half was completely different. Because then T-Law threw 4 touchdowns to 4 different people.
Yes.
Right. And then the defense said, no, we're going to shut down the Chargers. And they did. They started stopping them. They started pushing more. They
One field goal in the second half, ladies and gentlemen. One.
Amazing. Like, just honestly, that was really, that is to me, and no hate on your Cowboys and Tampa Bay game. Like, again, I'm not a hater.
I got you. No problem.
But this game was actually really fun. Like, it was a really fun game. Because I always like that come from behind win where you're like, oh my God, the team that wasn't supposed to win won, so especially after, like Kate was saying, what they dealt with, like they went from back-to-back last place. Back-to-back last place. Then they had an awful experience last year with Urban Meyer, who was belligerent, racist, and awful to the players, just completely demoralized the whole team. How is a rookie quarterback and a rookie player like Etienne, who was recovering because he got hurt last year, remember? How are they supposed to like grow in that atmosphere? They don't. So kudos to Doug Peterson turning that around and like making that team feel good. Like I said, leaderships matter. Like being a leader, it's not being like a tyrant. That's not what leadership is, right? And so kudos to like the Jags coming back and getting that win. That was exciting. And then Nicole, you need a Waffle House experience. I'm glad it was introduced to you. So make sure. Well, Kate is the closest to you, so she's in Michigan. So
now I need some Waffle House waffles.
But that was a good time. That was a good time.
All right, now we can talk about your game.
We can talk about my game. I think Trevor Lawrence is probably the comeback king, guys. He did it against Cowboys. We were up by a bunch. He came back.
Oh, that's right.
Took us in overtime.
I forgot about that.
I'm thinking he's the comeback king. But before we get to the Cowboys, we do gotta talk about the 49ers and the Seahawks. The 49ers and the Seahawks. Wow. It looked like it was going to be a tight game. I know me and Ash were probably like, yes, this game is going great.
At halftime, I was like, yeah, buddy.
This is amazing.
Go. I almost said a bad word. Let's go. And then they came back and I was like, okay.
And then
it all fell apart.
From there. It went like a crashing bomb down from there. Nicole, what do you think about that game?
Well, I think it had to do a lot with the quick release on the quarterback on the field. I was just saying it's just like kind of like playoff hockey where you got to know your targets and you got to release quick to make that count. And I think they capitalized on it very well.
Very well.
So, I don't know. I'm quite happy with this Brock Purdy. He's a youngin and I like him. So and they did me proud. They won. So
they did get the W. Ash, how you feeling, man? Because I was on a cloud 9 and then
I feel like I'm very scared of Brock Purdy and company, and I don't like it. And I hope that Brock Purdy looks like where he was drafted this coming week, and not like he's looked like the last 6 games.
Very, very, very true. Very true. I'm kind of hoping that. Kate, what'd you think?
Can we just go back to how smart it was of Lynch, their GM, to go after Christian McCaffrey and get him during the
Very,
season.
very
Can
smart.
we just go back and say what a brilliant move that was on his part? Because
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey has been such a crucial new piece to this 49ers offense because he complements Debo really well
He
in
does.
that
He does.
backfield. Like him and Debo are really a new hot connection and a hot new duo in the NFL, and I'm really loving it. And can we go back to watching Purdy in the pocket and how he scrambled and found those receivers? And he did it so effortlessly as a rookie, and how quickly he escaped and eluded defenders this weekend. I have never seen a rookie quarterback who was picked last in a draft, Mr. Irrelevant, come out and do something like that. He's a third stringer. And he came out and looked like he's been playing football in the NFL his whole career.
Yeah.
And kudos to him for having the patience and the poise and the wherewithal to do the things he's doing. So I really am like on this like Purdy hype train right now because some people will say, well, he's just the third stringer. Well, Mr. Irrelevant's looking pretty relevant right now. And I love that he is just being so humble about it and the way he handles himself. I really hope there's good things for him because then now I really do feel like there's an overall, if they keep winning the way they're doing and he keeps doing what he's doing, there's going to be a really big quarterback battle. And to see him, when Trey Lance comes back, to see that battle of who's going to get that number one spot now for the San Francisco 49ers and to see what's happening there, they have a lot of good weapons. Bosa is a great defender. You have Kittle, who is a great tight end.
I mean, we don't gotta talk about how great they are anymore.
Oh my God. I am very much, I'm sorry. I know you want your Cowboys to go away, but this 49ers team is hot.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen them this hot since like the Joe Montana era, the Steve Young era. So I'm really kind of liking it because I used to love those eras when I was a kid growing up watching NFL. So anyway, but I'm really excited for the 49ers. I'm really, really excited for them. I'm sorry. I know they're in the same division as you guys, but I like the underdog story. I like to see that this Purdy guy coming out.
Interesting offseason is getting ready to be. Interesting offseason with the quarterbacks that they do have.
I know. Jimmy G.
Problem to have.
Gone.
Yes,
Jimmy G's gone. Jimmy G's gone.
And I think if Purdy keeps what he's doing, Trey Lance is going to be either the backup or he's going to be gone.
Yeah, the good thing is you got both of them for pretty much nothing for the next few years. So it could go either way.
So
Delilah,
keep both
what
of
you think?
them.
Yeah, so no, it was fun. I think just the 49ers, people forget, have the number one defense in the NFL. And so in the first half of the game, the Seahawks were actually toe-to-toe. They actually were not, they were keeping up with them. But, the 49ers are just balanced. And so that second half, and they did something that the Chargers didn't do, which they didn't take their foot off the gas, okay? Yeah. The Chargers slowed down, so I got this game. 49ers and Kyle Shanahan were like, no, we're not doing that because we are playing a division rival, right? We can't do that. And so they made sure to not lift the pressure off. They made sure that they always kept the offense off the field as much as possible. They made them punt. They made them, make mistakes. And then they made sure that the offense was out there doing what they got to do, which is score, right? And so, I feel like that was just really magical football again. And it's just it was fun to see, again, I don't hate on the Seahawks because I actually am proud of what they did.
Shout out to them. Shout out to them.
No hate on them. And I know they squeaked in. Everybody's like, oh, they squeaked in. I'm like, that's how this works.
They held it down for a whole half.
You're the 7th seed. I mean,
that's how that exactly. That's how that works. Why are people acting like the 7th seed doesn't always squeak in? That's literally why it's there. So so it's and so no kudos for them. They had a stellar season for what people thought they were going to be losers. So that's what I'm trying to say. Kudos to the Seahawks having a winning season when everybody said they wouldn't. But the 49ers is just honestly, I agree with Ash. I bet teams wish they had this stroke of luck, right?
Mhm.
Trey Lance goes down, then Jimmy G comes in, starts winning games, then Jimmy G goes down, and the guy that you probably thought wasn't gonna be good
So
starts
your whole
balling.
season was over. Yeah.
Right. Honestly, it comes in and starts balling out and just meshes with your whole team. It's like honestly, like I don't know who has like magical powers or whatever's going on at the 49ers, but
It always seems
man,
What's in the
Dak
water?
like I don't
Yeah.
know. Like the issue though that Trey Lance is on a rookie contract and it's not up yet, so he can't just walk up and leave. So I don't think that's what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen is this off season is gonna be like a battle of who gets QB1, right? Regardless,
Mhm.
like you know what I mean. I think that's really what's gonna come down to. Unless he wins a Super Bowl, then there's no questions asked, right? I think that to me is the decision maker. If somehow Purdy takes the team and wins a Super Bowl, that's QB1 for you. But
Very
if he gets knocked out before then or doesn't win the Super Bowl, then they're gonna go back and training camp, and I feel that's where they're gonna make the best decision as who be like they did this offseason with Jimmy G and Trey Lance, right? They're like, Trey's our guy, right? And so that's really what's gonna come down to. But hey, that was fun football. So kudos to the 49ers, and that's it. Like
Absolutely. It's a beautiful thing to have 2 rookie deals going on. And Trey Lance is only on year 2 this year. So they got 3 more years of a rookie deal. It's a great situation that you have. So kudos to them. They did get it. Now we got to get on to the best game, in my opinion. The best game, which was the Dallas Cowboys beat down. Is that Tom Brady's biggest fan over there? Beat down
Yeah.
Tom Brady's biggest
It's
fan.
fine.
Tom Brady went down.
It's
Man.
fine.
Beautiful.
I'm
game.
okay.
Ash, I will go to
She's still
you.
got Joey B in, so she's got one of her.
She still
votes,
got
at least.
Joey
And I want him to go all the way.
Yeah.
Ash, how you feel about the game?
My favorite part of the game, my favorite part of the game is not Brett Maher. I don't have any nice words to say about that. My favorite part of the game is when they put up this stat. They jinx statted Tom Brady, and it was my favorite part. They put up this stat of Tom Brady not having any red zone interceptions as a Buccaneer. They put up the stat of him having, oh God, what was it? Like 409 attempts without a pick. He hasn't had a red zone pick since 2019. I said, oh, here we go. Watch
They
this.
set him up.
And then Curse gets the interception, and it was the greatest time of my life. I was screaming, I was jumping up and down, I was freaking out. I was so excited.
Me as well.
And then Maher kept missing those kicks. I'm like, oh, this is gonna come back to bite us in the butt. But it did it because Dak was just amazing out there. I could have cried. Him running. Anytime Dak runs, I'm like, oh, you better watch out. Dak's running today. So that was awesome. I
And I
love
love the response from Dak, even though Maher was horrible. He literally was like, I just had a horrible game.
yeah.
So how can
Dak-
I beat up on him when I
Yeah.
literally just sucked the weekend before?
Yeah. And I think Dak felt a little guilty because he was on the sidelines like, go for 2, like screaming and like slamming his helmet. And then after he was like, okay, look, like in the heat of the moment, obviously, I mean, we were all screaming at home, like, why are we not going for 2? Why are we letting him back out there? So I thought it was nice he came back in the press conference and was like, look, I played like crap the week before. It happens. We still have his back. I know Maher, we signed a different kicker, and him and Maher were kicking today, and Maher went 6 for 6, and the other guy went like 4 for 6. So it's like, I just think Maher had a really bad day. He's been really good all year.
Bad day.
Like, bad. And I don't, as a kicker,
62 yards
mentally.
this year. 62
Yeah.
yards he's made.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I literally said if we kicked it from like 50, he'd make all of them. But kicking it right here, you can't do anything with it. So we'll see. I mean, if we do that again, we're not winning against the Niners. So
Hey, we're not
hopefully
even
that
gonna
gets
mention
cleared
the
up. But everything else about it was amazing. And Curse is gonna play for sure. I just watched an interview with him. I was really worried he wasn't gonna be able to play because he
Me
got
too.
hurt in the 3rd quarter, but he said he's good to go. So
All right, let's go. All right, Tom Brady's biggest fan. I'm feeling about this possibly.
I'm actually okay. I'm fine with it. I know we were a banged up football team a lot of
I think
the
it was
year.
kind of expected.
He didn't have his main bodyguards on his offensive line most of the season. it just wasn't in sync. And look what just happened today. They made it official. They finally got rid of Leftwich, which Leftwich's playbook looked staler than the bread that's been sitting in a box since 2002. I'm sorry, but
Oh no!
No,
Oh,
no,
no.
I
I promise it wasn't me.
don't have controls. I don't have controls.
When she comes back, don't worry, she'll be back. Don't worry.
You
When she
didn't.
We didn't kick her off just because she's a Bucks fan.
right?
Delilah, what you thought about the game?
No, I mean that was actually it was a fun game. Like I picked the Cowboys to win. Like every time I was asking like 5 different shows. I said I think the Cowboys broke the curse. They're gonna beat Tom Brady this game, and it was pretty obvious why. Like it wasn't like it wasn't the Buccaneers team that won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. It's not that team. So I was like, no way. Like this is easy. This is a winnable game. Like I didn't think you guys were gonna demolish them the way you did, but kudos to that. But I definitely saw the win coming. Like I was like, there's no way. Like, and so yeah, like the curse is broken. You have one more curse to break. I'm not going to name the team, but you have one team left that you have to get a win over at some point, and then both curses are gone. You know, they're off your back. And you don't have to worry about it ever again. So if you broke this curse, break that other curse. But kudos, like I'm moving on. Like honestly, like and good luck next weekend or this weekend. Sorry. This weekend.
It's coming. It's coming.
I wish you could take a week off.
Next weekend too. I'll take them luck next weekend.
I'm back.
Yes.
There you are.
That was weird. It just like kicked me out, and then it would be like when I went to try to go back in, it would just say "See post."
Oh, that's weird.
StreamYard kicked me out.
Oh, weird.
That's
I was like,
weird.
we did not
Because
kick you
you're
out
Tom
of
Brady's
comment.
biggest fan. It's probably
Yes.
I know you guys don't like Tom Brady, but it's all right. I get it.
But we wanted you to finish. Did you have anything else to say? Because I know you said you weren't. It wasn't a shock to you.
No, it was not a shock to me, just based on how Tampa played all year. It was not their best year. It was Tom's best year. I think.
Oh no!
I think
She said Tom and it.
that's it. All right, so she's having issues with StreamYard. It's not us. So
It's not us. It's not us.
we have to
Nicole,
move-
what you
we
think
have to
about
move
the
on
game?
with the show.
I shouldn't say the Tom Brady, but listen, they're stars, and it's not Hollywood. It's cowboys.
Yes.
And I just think that it was great because you want to know what?
Cowboys.
They got 128 rushing yards. And you know how much those Bucks got? 52. 52
Womp
and a half.
womp.
So I like to think that they're versatile, and I think they relied a little bit on their rushing. And that's how they got the keys to the game. And in doing that, Dak, you're younger than I thought. So kudos to you. And yeah.
He's the oldest one now in the.
Yeah, out of these new schoolers, that looking kind of old to the newbies. Especially since they're all getting in the game and killing it. Kate, we are glad to see you back. You're back.
I'm on my parents' computer and it keeps popping something up that pops me out.
Oh,
sorry.
I hope they're not. I hope my parents didn't do something stupid and it's going to cause it. But the only thing I will say is I wasn't shocked. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't sad. I wasn't mad. I get it. Tom Brady's got the offseason to figure out what Tom Brady's going to do. And I know he had a lot of personal issues this season, so I'm not going to be too hard on the man. Going through a divorce, figuring out kids. I mean, we all have our personal lives, our personal battles. And we always say give each other grace and compassion. And so I'm going to try to do that to Tom, because I think as much as people like to be mean to him and beat him up and say mean things about him and be hateful towards him, he did go through a lot this season that we don't know the battles he faced as far as that divorce and everything. So I think all of us would want to be shown the same grace and the same kindness if we were going through things in our personal lives. So I'm going to show him a heap of grace and a heap of love and a heap of being his biggest fan and trying not to beat him up, because I'm sure he's already beat himself up enough this season about a lot of things that have gone on. So to all his haters, trust me, he probably hates himself enough. So please just kind of try to be kind if you can. Because if you were going through those divorces and you were going through all those things, you'd want people to show you some humility and some grace. So I'm kind of coming at a defensive place, I know, for Tom, because everybody likes to beat him up and be like, ha, 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 ha. But I know he's gone through a lot. His team's gone through a lot. They just fired their offensive coordinator. We don't know what's going to happen to that team in the offseason, what's going to happen with him. But he has 7 Super Bowl rings still to his name, and he still has more rings than most teams and players on everybody else's teams combined. So for me, I'm going to say I wish him well in the offseason. I hope he finds where his heart is at as far as this game is. And I hope if it's still in the NFL, he finds the right place, the right coach, the right situation for himself, because I do love him. I will always love him. I will always defend him. And I will always have his back 1,000%. I will go in group chats and defend him to the death for the rest of my life. But I will say this. I know it wasn't perfect. I know it wasn't the right situation. So I wasn't shocked. I wasn't surprised he lost. I wasn't surprised the team lost. That team's gone through a lot this season with the new coach. The offensive coordinator sucked really bad this season. He got fired for it. So, with that being said, that's where my heart is at. As much as I know he went through a lot this season, and I beat him up a lot too. I had my own moments where I was like, come on, Tom, get your head together. I hope in the offseason he finds some peace from whatever, for all the stuff he went through. And he is forever going to be the GOAT, because he's going to do more than most players will ever do in a lifetime. So with that being said, let's see what happens in the offseason. I still have my other guy in the playoff run, Mr. Smokey Smooth. So go Bengals.
All right. You heard it. You heard it from Tom Brady's biggest fan. She just gave his I think that was a great, that was absolutely amazing how you acknowledged that the fact that he was going through some things. But you know, like they said, the world doesn't care about that stuff. We won. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. She is absolutely right. He did go through some things. So we are wishing him well. We don't know what's going to happen this offseason, so we stay tuned. But guys, I know that took a while, but we got to get on to the rest of the show. And we got some fantastic things to show you guys. What do we got for them, Delilah? Women in the NFL. Man, who has today, guys?
I am covering Maria Taylor. I really like her. I really like her spunk and her spontaneity. I love how she puts all the women on Sunday night in their place. But she was actually born Suzette Maria Taylor. Maria is her middle name. She was born May 12th, 1987. She's an American sportscaster for NBC Sports. She has worked for ESPN and the SEC network. She has covered college football, college volleyball, National Basketball Association, the NFL, and men's and women's college basketball. She was born to Steve and Suzette Taylor, and she attended Centennial High School in Roswell, Georgia. She had a successful 4-year basketball career in which she received many accolades. Among the awards were being a member of the Atlanta Tip-Off Team of the Year, being a Fulton County Scholar Athlete of the Year, Offensive MVP for her high school volleyball team for 3 years, a 3-time All-Region selection, and being named All-State as a senior. Taylor was additionally selected as a member of the 2004 USA Volleyball Junior National A2 team. So she's a very gifted and achieved athlete in high school. And she went on to, and Anthony and Colin, if you're watching, she received an athletic scholarship to the University of Georgia. She is a dog, where she continued to play volleyball and basketball from 2005 to 2009. While at Georgia, she was named a member of the All-SEC volleyball team each season. She also continued to play for the USA Volleyball Junior National A2 team and helped them win a bronze medal during the open division of the U.S. Volleyball Championships. By the time her playing days were done in the fall of 2008, Taylor ranked 4th all-time in program history in career kills with 1,729 and 4th all-time in total points with 2,020. She is 6'2" in height. So I always thought she looked tall on air. And when I found out she was 6'2", she's definitely tall. Prior to 2012, Taylor was a reporter for the IMG College at the University of Georgia for 3 years. She also appeared on various studio shows, including Dog Report, SEC Men's Basketball Tonight, and Sports Night. At ESPN in 2013, Taylor was a sideline reporter on ESPN2's weekly Saturday night primetime college football telecast, in addition to the Orange Bowl, her second straight covering the annual bowl game. So she's been all over. She has been an analyst on the NCAA Women's Basketball Selection Show, NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament Preview Show, and also ESPN's coverage of both the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament and Women's Volleyball National Championships for the previous 2 years. She has been a part of the SEC network, where she joined them in 2014. She went on to be a commentator on that network alongside some greats like Brent Musburger and Jesse Palmer. She was also an analyst on other SEC telecasts, including volleyball and women's basketball. She provided sideline coverage for ESPN for the 2016 Rose Bowl game between Stanford and the University of Iowa. In 2017, she joined College Game Day broadcast team as a reporter and host, replacing Samantha Ponder, who became the host of Sunday NFL Countdown and was on ESPN as a host and reporter for college football playoff between the University of Georgia and Oklahoma. Subsequently, she was the host and reporter for the 2018 college football playoff national championship between Alabama and Georgia. Taylor was the sideline reporter for Saturday Night Football on ABC with Chris Fowler and Herb Street, calling from the booth, which is very uncommon for a woman to be in the booth calling college football games. So kudos to her for being one of the rare women that get to do that. In 2019, Taylor began hosting NBA Countdown, the pregame show for ESPN's Friday night and Sunday afternoon NBA games. Amidst the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, ESPN scrapped its original plan for The Jump, hosted by Rachel Nichols, to serve as the NBA Finals pregame host, instead named Taylor's the NBA Countdown and Finals pregame and halftime show host. In 2020, she was the sideline reporter for the Pittsburgh Steelers versus New York Giants game on Monday Night Football opener. So she got to do that as well. In 2020, ESPN reportedly offered to increase Taylor's $1 million annual salary to $5 million, which she turned down. Taylor left the network the day after the 2021 NBA Finals concluded on July 20th. Her departure came after a conference call between Rachel Nichols, LeBron James advisor Adam Mendelson from July 2020 that suggested that the network's decision to choose Taylor to host the NBA Finals was due to her race was leaked earlier that month. 2 days later, Taylor joined NBC Sports and made her on-air debut for the network during the coverage of the 2020 Olympics on July 23rd, 2021. So she was embroiled in some controversy that led her to leave ESPN to go to NBC. In the 2021 NFL season, Taylor joined NBC's Sunday Night Football pregame show, Football Night in America, as a panelist. In May 2022, it was announced that Taylor would replace Mike Tirico, who was moving to lead play-by-play position for Sunday Night Football. As the lead host of the program, Taylor served as the host of the men's and women's semifinals and finals during NBC's coverage of the 2022 French Open. So that is Maria Taylor. She's very accomplished. She's done a lot. She's proven to be who she is. I love how sassy she is and how she puts all those men in their place on Sunday night. And she's not afraid to do it. And I love that she had the guts and the tenacity to leave ESPN with all that controversy going on and do what was best for her and left and went to NBC. So that is our women in the NFL. That is Mrs. Maria Taylor. What do we think, ladies?
Hey, absolutely. We
She's
love it.
awesome.
We love it. We absolutely love it. Shout out to Maria Taylor. Shout out, because I'm pretty sure she's going to be the first of many to be taking over the NFL game analyst and all over. I mean, we're seeing her all over, and it just makes me excited. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I think she's great. Also, like, I like to see not just more women, but I like seeing more women of color. So awesome. Just love seeing it on TV. And she was an athlete too. 6'2". You're right. Oh my God. Like,
I didn't realize she was that tall.
I
She
mean, I
is
knew,
tall.
yeah, I mean, I knew she was tall because you could tell, but I didn't realize she was 6'2". And then she puts on heels on top of it. Oh, listen, I love when women tower over guys, because especially these athletes who think they're so tough, you know. So I'm like, I'm here for it. Like, go for it. Kudos.
Let's
to
go. Let's go. Kudos to Maria. Let's go. So we got to move on to our next segment, which is such a powerful segment. The
Woo.
calls in the NFL. All right,
Oh.
what we got today?
All right, so today we are actually featuring Trey Flowers' organization. It's called Flowers of the Future, and basically he established it in Huntsville, which is in Alabama, because that's where he's from. You know, but he also, you know, when he was playing for Detroit, he also set up some stuff there as well. So basically, like, it's about community engagement, where he promotes physical fitness, develops like positive values, helps people kind of overall. That's why he calls it Flowers for a Better Tomorrow. So his organization is about planting seeds. So again, like, I like organizations that do more coaching and mentoring and planting of seeds versus, and I'm not against giving, but I do prefer this type of philanthropy, because then people can then take over, right, on their own and grow their communities,
Absolutely.
you know? So I always prefer that. He said, I have always had a passion for giving back to the community, especially children. He believes that kids, and it's true, when they're given a fresh start, you know, and given a second chance or a different opportunity, they're going to grow, right? We know this. A lot of us are educators. A lot of us are parents, been around kids. We know that we give them a fresh start and a new opportunity, and don't bog down on what they were, but help them think differently. We know that we can better their circumstances. So he's all about education. And again, so originally he started off in Huntsville, Alabama. Then he extended it to Detroit. And since he keeps moving around, because, you know, he does go to different teams. So like when he moves, you know, when he gets traded to different teams, he also like expands his foundation to those cities and those areas. He also has a scholarship program. Flowers of the Future Foundation Scholarship is only right now, I'm sure it'll change, but for right now it's only for Huntsville and Detroit area students. So Flower of the Future Foundation is proud to offer the Flowers of the Future Academic Scholarship for Huntsville and Detroit area students. The scholarship is a part of the Flowers of the Future Foundation's commitment to fostering the underserved and underprivileged youth in the Huntsville and Detroit area. And so you do have to live in those areas to receive it. And so again, the thing that I also appreciate about it is that the GPA starts at 2.75. And you have to understand, I have known a lot of C students who've gone on to do amazing things because they were given an opportunity to go to college and learn something and be encouraged, and have gone on to do amazing things. So every time people see, 2.75, that doesn't mean that these kids can't learn and
Let's
can't
go.
do better.
That's absolutely
they
it.
need that opportunity.
Yes.
You know, you don't know why they got to see. So it's not always because of they don't want to go to school. You don't know their circumstances. So I do appreciate that it is offered at 2.7. And so again, for right now, it's only for those areas for Huntsville and Detroit. And it's anywhere between $1,000 and $1,500, which is a lot of money for kids, especially like if, you know, towards tuition or textbooks. Because
Books.
textbooks are ridiculous, y'all. Like, I'm sorry, they're so expensive. But anyway, so any money that goes towards any sort of college endeavor goes a long way. And so that is, you know, the Trey Flowers Foundation, Flowers of the Future. And again, he does try to expand it wherever he kind of goes. And again, it's just about, you know, building that culture of giving them those tools and the opportunities to grow and foster. So
let's go.
The foundation.
Yes. I love them.
Flowers of the Future. Hey, if you didn't know, now you know. There are some people, some NFL players out there that truly, truly love to help the community. And like Delilah said, this is so impactful because, like she said, just because you have a C average doesn't mean that you're a C person, that you're living just an average life. Like you can be great with a C average. I'm good. I'm great. I'm great with a C average. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Well, college was a struggle. High school, I was great, but college was hard. So I totally love this. I think that is absolutely needed. And shout out to the scholarships. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Shout out to his dad. He volunteered him.
Yes.
That's true.
Absolutely. All right, guys.
All right. So before we move to our hot players, we'll do a quick clip. If you need to like step away for a second, go for it. But then we're moving on to our hot player segment, and then we'll pop back in.
And I just freaking love it. That's why I love this man. He's a big guy. He's just a big, massive piece of magic. And I just freaking love him. Josh Allen is my hot player of the week. And we were just talking about Kelsey being hot. Josh Allen is hot in every way for me too. I love him. Hot players of this week. Guys, it was so many players that deserve it, and no, Josh Allen, I do not believe is on any of our lists. But I do think that we have some dynamic players. All right, Nicole, we'll go with you first. Who was your hot player of last week?
Well, there's this guy, and he is number 88. CD Lamb is his name, and he is your guys' guys. So
let's go.
Yeah, he's awesome. I didn't know this. 1,359 yards for his season. What? I just think they saw. So he was a first round of the 2020 NFL draft, and at pick 17, they picked him. So I mean, top one.
We love that
in the draft, and Dallas got him. They got his hands on him, and he's got his hands on Dallas. And
I love it.
I absolutely love it.
Amazing. I don't know what else to say about the guy. I mean, there's a lot of massive. He was one of 29 rookies in NFL history, one of 13 since the merger to score a touchdown via rushing, receiving, and a kickoff return as a rookie.
Let's go. Let's go.
He has top jersey merch sales. So NFL.com loves him too.
Yeah.
What's the CD celebration?
You got me and Janae on it. We both wait.
Anytime CD does anything, a first down, a score.
Yeah, he like looks and he's like,
smell it, baby. Let's go. Let's go. All right, guys, I'm going to give mine really quick. Sam Hubbard. He is going to be my offense. My player of the week is not an offensive player, it's a defensive player. But what I will say is that's the reason why the Cincinnati Bengals won that game is because he was able to pick up the ball and run it all the way down. And what man could that big boy run?
I love
it. Also showed that the fact that Mark Andrews can run too because
he's the only one even close.
That's funny. That's true too.
It was really crazy to see those massive men run all the way down the field super fast. But shout out to Sam Hubbard for basically winning the game for the Bengals.
Yeah, they did.
My player.
He did.
Who was your player?
You know, I can show equal love. See, I'm not necessarily a full hater all the time. I have got your quarterback. I'm gonna say this how Miss Ash would always say it. I've got Dakota Rain Prescott.
Yeah.
Let's go, Dakota!
I had to do it in the very Ash way.
Yes.
I've got Dakota Rain Prescott of your Dallas Cowboys. Sorry,
Let's
Sean,
go.
I love you still. But against my Buccaneers and against my Tom Brady, he had 75.8% completions, 305 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and what was that one stat he was doing really poorly at that he didn't do poorly against the Buccaneers?
Oh,
He had 0
None.
interceptions.
Woo!
For a passer rating of 143.3. Best passer rating amongst all quarterbacks this round of the playoffs. So your Dakota did pretty well. No, Dakota Rain Prescott. For the season, he has 66.2% completions, 2,860 yards passing, 23 touchdowns, only the 15 interceptions, 91
Only.
set passer rating. But it'll be interesting to see how Mr. Dakota Rain handles Mr. Bosa and the 49ers.
That part.
I
He didn't throw
appreciate
to Noah Brown. He got some brains and said, you know what, I'm not going to throw it to Noah Brown anymore because that man always turns it over for me.
So I am an equal opportunity lover, and I did give you ladies 48 hours to claim him. Ask Delilah.
You did. You did.
I said, I'm taking Dakota and shopping.
I didn't
Shout out
want to
to
be too big
Kate.
of a homer. I was trying not to be too big of a homer.
I didn't want to be a homer too, but he was the only guy that was just like.
I mean, Dylan Schultz did good. He caught.
I hope I
touchdowns.
did him justice, ladies.
You
Yeah.
did.
You did a good job.
You definitely did. Delilah, who was your hot player of last
All
week?
right. So I went with Mr. Saquon Barkley, who's up there for he's up there. He's like tied up there with Geno for comeback player of the year. But okay, so here's the thing, right? So I know that last game he didn't have like the crazy stats, but here's what matters, right? He had 9 carries for 53 yards only, but of that he got 2 touchdowns. So you know what that means? It's quality over quantity often, okay?
Yeah.
He is a quality football player. I am so happy to see that man on the field playing the way he's been playing. And the fact that he was always where the Giants needed him to be to get those 2 touchdowns, right? Mm-hmm. So again, 53 yards. Everybody's like, oh, it's only 53 yards. I'm like, yeah, but you forget that he got 2 touchdowns in those 53 yards. You know what I mean? And so like, you know, quality over quantity, you know? So like he got it done. But even outside of that, in the 2022 season, he is 4th in attempts anyway. So it's not like he hasn't been balling out like during the regular season, which is why he is up there for comeback player, right? So he has 295 attempts at 4th for the regular season. He came in 4th in yards, 1,312. You know what I mean? He had 10 touchdowns, altogether because the postseason doesn't count. But again, that man was where he needed to be. He was getting yards, and he was part of the reason why the Giants won so many of those games and why they made playoffs. So kudos to Saquon. I'm so happy to see him back. I was going to go with Hodges because that man balled out too. So no hate on him.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
That man, like, honorable mention. He had over 100 yards plus a touchdown. But with Saquon, again, the fact that he was injured, we know that it was so sad to see him down, and he couldn't really play the way we know Saquon could play football. And for him to come back and do what he's been doing, like stellar football player. So that was my hype player of last week, Mr. Saquon Barkley.
Let's go. Oh, we got to save the best for last. Ash, who was your hot player of last week?
All right, so I'm going with somebody that I'm going to hype them up so hard. I'm going to hype them up so hard so they go and they beat the Eagles next week. I'm going with Vanilla Vic. aka Danny Dimes, aka Dr. Jones, as some may call him. Government name Daniel Jones. Let's go.
Let's go, Danny Dimes.
Okay, so Daniel Jones, Vanilla Vic is probably my favorite nickname I've ever heard of in the world. Shout out to Saquon for giving him that nickname. But he is doing excellent this season, which I think has a lot to do with coaching. So shout out to Brian Daboll. I think he should be coach of the year. I've said this many times. Andrew was trying to tell me that the Giants were not going to be the same old bad Giants they were, and they were. Daboll really turned that team around, which is great for them. They still stink against us, so that's fine with me. But Danny Dimes was the first player in league history with 300 plus passing yards, 2 plus passing touchdowns, and 75 plus rushing yards in the same postseason game. So he was slanging the ball, he was running the ball, he was doing slinging the ball to nobody because there's nobody on that team to throw the ball to. So shout out to him, doing great. He completed 24 of his 31 attempts for 301 yards, carried the ball for a career high of 17 times for 78 yards, gaining 7 first downs. So that's amazing. He did crazy good stuff, and this now leaves me to think, I thought for sure at the beginning of the season Danny Dimes was out. He's a free agent this season. I thought he was out, and now I'm like, ooh, I don't know now, because he really balled out with Daboll.
He may keep that job now.
We'll see. I mean, if he beats the Eagles, he gotta keep that job.
Absolutely. Hey guys, let us know who your hot player was of last week. You already see who we have, but we know you guys got some players out there, so let us know who your hot players are. All right, ladies, we gotta move on to one of our favorite segments, our last segment, which is ladies have the final say. Oh no, wait, we still got the predictions for next week. I can't miss that. We can't miss that. That's probably the best one. All right, Delilah.
And we'll do final say, I promise. And the show will end. Sorry, y'all.
We'll start off with the NFC. Let's start off with the NFC. Apologies. Let's do the NFC. I know, ladies. Y'all tuning in. It's okay. We're rocking together tonight. Let's start off with the NFC. So we got the Eagles versus the Giants. All right, we got to go really fast. I know we're taking some time, but Delilah, who you got?
So I want the Giants to win, but I'm still going with the Eagles. So, and I know, I get it, but I feel like the Cinderella story for them is going to end at the Eagles. I don't know why people are hating on Jalen. He doesn't suck, and honestly, like, that has to stop. He really is a quality. He's proven himself. He's up there for MVP consideration for a reason. He got hurt.
100%.
They were really smart to say, look, we're in the playoffs anyway. They risked their number 1 seed not to play him, which to me is intelligent, because we've been talking about injuries all year, by the way, and how people rush back their players and then they get hurt worse and then they lose them for the rest of the season, right?
Very true.
So I thought it's smart not to play him. Make sure he is healthy so he plays when it counts, which is in the playoffs. So, and I think, honestly, it's just they're playing good football. They're all meshing. Their defense is better than the Giants defense. That's just based on stats, y'all. I'm just saying, like, it's just it, right? Their defense is better. And I think that they're just going to mesh. And I'm not hating on the Giants' performance or Danny Dimes. I'm not one of those. I actually like that he's doing better and that he's getting his just dues. But I think he's doing better because of Brian Daboll. But anyway, but again, I'm going with the Eagles on this one. So.
Okay, Eagles. Kate, what you thinking? Giants, Eagles. Oh, fly, Eagles, fly. Okay,
fly, Eagles, fly. You know I've been behind them and Jalen Hurts all season long. I love Jalen Hurts. He is one of my former Bama boys that went on to play at Oklahoma. He is really, I think, proven himself to be a very good quarterback, like Delilah said. I think people have been too hard on him and say it's just because he's got a good team, but that boy can run, he can pass, he can do it all. So my hopes and dreams are for him to do really well, and I really want him to beat the Giants and beat them good and keep soaring the Eagles fly in the NFC.
The G-Men, okay, all right. Ash, who you calling?
Die, Eagles, die. I'm taking the Giants.
Like the way you do business. Like the way you do.
All right.
Nicole?
I'm just gonna keep singing Dr. Jones all the way to the Super Bowl. So,
Yes.
as Paul
Wait, not all the way to
noted,
the Super Bowl, but yeah.
as
Calm
Colin
down.
would put it with his youngling, those grumpy pigeons are going down.
Okay. Those grumpy pitchers are going down. I'm also taking the Giants as well. I feel like their defense is just really coming in to their own, and I know that the Eagles' defense is better. I just feel like there's
You
no
just
bounty.
feel like you want them to win to help your team.
Very true, Kate. Very
Absolutely.
true.
I'm calling
All
a
right.
spade a
I want
spade.
everybody to know I do not believe in bounties, but I feel like I don't know what Jalen Hurts is going to really do. We saw him play the last time, and it wasn't really like Jalen Hurts-esque. So I'm hoping that it remains the same and that the Giants end up pulling off. All right, so we got to move on to the next one. Cowboys, 49ers. Delilah, who you got?
I'm sorry. I'm going to go with the 49ers. Not because I hate
Okay.
the Cowboys. You have to understand, I'm not one of those people.
I know.
okay?
You are the unbiased person always.
I'm unbiased. I'm going with the 49ers just because I feel they're coming in hot. And I just feel like, I feel like they've meshed at the right time, right? It's just they meshed at the right time. And I'm just going to go with the 49ers. It's going to be close, but I'm going to go with the 49ers.
All right. Ash, who you taking?
We them boys.
We them boys. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. All right, Nicole, where you going?
I know that Dallas has been eating their apricots, so we are gonna go with Dallas.
Yes. I don't
Woo!
know what apricots have to do with this, but yes.
Apricots. All the cots.
Avocados.
Kate, who you taking?
I'm going with Mr. Relevant. I'm going with Mr. CMC, Mr. Debo, Mr. Kittle. I'm going with Mr. Bosa. I'm going with the #1 defense in the NFL. And I'm going to go with the 49ers because I love the miracle story that is Mr. Brock Purdy. Last man picked in the draft, and look what he's doing now. I think he's got they can do it. I really truly believe they can do it, and I believe they can do it with Purdy.
Okay, why? Well, you heard
pretty
it.
sweet when they take out the Cowboys.
Here we go. Y'all already know I'm going for the Cowboys.
Lord.
You know I'm going for the Cowboys. It's just how it's going down. But we got to get over to the AFC side because it's very interesting. Do we think that the Jaguars will ride off? And if they officially beat this team, I don't think they can lose on the AFC side. Jaguars versus Kansas City. Delilah, what you got?
I'm going to go with KC. Not because I hate the Jaguars. I don't think they could do what they did to the Chargers. See, that's the thing. The Chargers messed up. And I don't think that they can actually repeat that. Now, there's no hate on what they've done. There's no hate on their success. You can't do that with Patty. You cannot do that with Mahomes. Remember last week?
Yeah, Mahomes.
Like, you just can't do that. And I just think that I believe that Patrick Mahomes is a better quarterback because Tyreek left. Because it made him not have to always go to him. It made him actually look at other receivers. It made him do other plays. And I think he's a better quarterback because of it. And so I think that, again, the Cinderella story is going to end here. Doesn't mean that they won't make it all the way at a future time. I just think they stop at KC. They're playing also at KC. It's loud there. It's just KC has all the advantage.
They definitely have a 12th man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
So I'm going to go with KC. I won't be mad if they lose, but I'm going to go with KC and Patty Mahomes.
Okay. Ash, what you thinking?
I'm going Chiefs. I think Chiefs won it.
Yeah, I know.
I just don't think the Jags have enough to get the win there.
I don't think so either, girl. I don't think so either. Nicole, what you got?
My homies.
And my homies.
Yes.
And Mr. Pacheco.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go. Kate, what you got, Kate?
I'm sorry, but when you got a dynamic duo that is Mahomes and Kelsey, how do you go wrong? And they've just proven, like Delilah said, without Tyreek, he's really stepped up. Mahomes has really shown a lot of maturity this year. I've seen him become more of a senior quarterback in the NFL this year. It's just been amazing to see him come to his own. And I think he's going to be our MVP for the NFL this year. I don't see how you not make him the MVP at this point.
Very true.
His yardage, everything has just been impressive from him. And I just love that he's kind of slid under the radar because we're talking about him, but not talking about him. So, and Andy Reid is just a brilliant coach. Let's not forget what a good coach the Kansas City Chiefs have in Andy Reid. He's proven to be a winner.
Yeah.
He's proven to know how to coach in the playoffs. So I can't see the Kansas City Chiefs not winning this game. I'd be shocked if something fell apart for them. But Arrowhead is brilliantly loud and brilliantly can shake up any team that comes in there. But I think I see Kelsey having like 3 touchdowns or something crazy like that.
Okay.
So, and I think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be like one of those 48-3 games or something like that.
Wow. Okay.
So I just think Kansas City's too good to not win this game.
Absolutely. I think Kansas City's going to take it too. I just think, you all are right.
This is the first time we all picked the same team.
Yes, Kansas City is. No, last week I think we all picked the Bills.
No, I mean, but for this game. I mean, for this game. Like, I mean.
Oh, yeah. For this one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, Kansas City, we're calling it. You guys are pretty much used to this spot in the last 3 years. So, 4 years, whatever. 3, I think it's 3. But yeah, you guys are used to this spot. So, congratulations. We were picking you again. All right, the last game, and which is the craziest game because the last time these two teams met, it was pretty crazy. So
it was crazy.
We were gonna see these two teams, the Bengals and the Bills. All right, Nicole, I'll go to you first. What you got?
I'm gonna turn it over, and I'm going to Cincinnati. Mr. Burrows is gonna take it.
Okay, Smokey Smooth. Okay, all right. Well, I really don't think we need to ask this person, but we'll go ahead and ask Kate. What you going for, Bills or Smokey Smooth?
I am Bengals all the way. I'm sorry, but I think honestly, until the Damar Hamlin situation happened, I really felt like the Bengals had the momentum going in that game. I just felt like they were just poised and ready to take on the Bills when they were in the first showing. And I think that Joe Burrow said he's on a mission. He keeps talking about this mission he's on this season to really prove that he is who he says he is. And he's got the doors and the windows wide open, he calls it. And I really do believe, I know they have 2 injuries right now, but they said there'll be game time decisions from what I heard Zach Taylor say today in their press conference. So my fingers are crossed that those 2 weapons are back by the end of the week and that they were just minor injuries. And I really want to see the Bengals do really, really well. I've been behind them all the way. There's been a lot of doubters in our family about them and how far they can go. So I'm all behind them.
Okay.
I have Tom Brady not to worry about. So my heart and soul is all behind Mr. Smokey Smooth.
All right.
So go Bengals. Who they think is gonna beat the Bengals? Nobody.
Oh, God. Ash, who you going for?
This one's a tough one, I think, just for how they both played. I don't really love either of them going into this. I'm
riding with you. Let's go. Let's do it.
I'm gonna go Bills. I'm gonna go Bills just because I love both. I love players on both teams. Don't get me wrong.
Right,
I love
same.
Diggs. I love T. T is
Same.
my probably number 1 receiver in the league. I love him to death.
He's
But I
great.
just
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
like the Bills in this one, I think.
Okay, all right, Delilah, what you got?
I'm gonna go with the Bills. I'm gonna go Bills Mafia. They got I feel like they're gonna ride in there with the emotions. Damar's been at all the practices, by the way, the last few times. Thank God. He's been able to hang out with the team and chill with them. And I feel like they're gonna go in motivated to win for him to move on. And I think that's what they're gonna carry with them. And so I think that's why Bills Mafia, go Bills.
Let's
No
go.
hate-
And you
no hate on the
already
Bengals,
know.
though.
You already know I'm riding with my massive
Oh
piece
yeah.
of magic. I want the Bills to win. I cannot wait for that game because I do think it's going to be a dynamic game. I think Smokey Smooth and Josh Allen will actually show the world what they really look like and not what that last game was. Because I think that this game means something. I think they're going to really like push. They think this is going to be the game. So we will see, ladies and gentlemen. But these are our predictions. We hope that you guys are putting yours out there as well. But we do got to get to the last segment of the show. Now, I am not joking this time. Ladies have the final say. And I will go first since I feel like my daughter is going to wake up in any second. Now, I would say I just want people to don't worry, be happy. You know the song, Don't Worry, Be Happy. I just feel like a lot of people try to do a lot of things to make other people happy. And I feel like we have to start taking ourselves serious, taking our own self happiness, our own self-worth, and really making it shine. Don't be afraid to be you. Don't be afraid to give your opinion. Don't be afraid. I really want to push this message because I feel like with having the conversations I've had this week with my coworkers and just people in general, there's a lot of people who don't do things because they're afraid of what the world will think. Okay. And we have to get out of that because who cares about what the world will think? The world don't pay your bills. The world don't let you sleep at night. The world doesn't, the world wouldn't care about you. You have to be the one that cares about you. You know, you as an individual, whatever you need to do to make yourself happy and stop worrying about anybody else. Because at the end of the day, if you can't love yourself, there's no possible way you can love anybody else. So I want people to take that time for themselves, self-care, self-love. You have to do what makes you happy. And I hope the message that you receive from this is that no matter what it is, no matter if you are afraid of how people will think about you because you feel a different way, or you're afraid of how people feel about you because you're different, be different. Do what you need to do to make you feel happy, because caring about the world and how they think, that'll drive you crazy. And at the end of the day, they don't matter. You matter. So I want people from now on, if you hear my voice, I want you to think about what makes you happy and do it. Because at the end of the day, none of those people really matter. You matter. Okay? So that's my ladies had a lot to say. All right, Kate, what you got?
I'm gonna reference Mr. Jim Harbaugh tonight in Michigan. When he decided to come back and be our coach this year after all the controversy and everything, he used a quote, don't try to out happy. Meaning,
Yes.
Don't try to out happy where you think you're the happiest. And he's realized that Michigan is where he's the happiest. So he's like, I can search for the NFL, I can search for other things, but why would I try to out happy my happiness? And I think we need to do that in our own lives and find our inner happy and be happy with where we're at, and quit searching to be better than someone else or search for something better in some other place. Try to really see that your happiness is what's around you. And that's what I think he realized is this happiness was Ann Arbor, it was Michigan football. And, we always try to seek happiness in others, happiness in different situations, but your situation you have right now is probably the best situation you've ever been in. And so the four walls around you are not as bad as you think they are, and don't always think that something's better on the other side and something could be better. Be happy in your own situation, in your own environment, and be happy with where you're at in your lives, because let me just say, it's not always good to see the happiness that's next door to you or anywhere else but what's there. So don't try to out happy.
I love it.
That's my final say. Don't try to out happy.
I love it.
Be content with where you're at.
Yes, absolutely, Kate. I freaking love it. Delilah, what's your ladies had a final say?
Okay, what I wanted to say is shout out and happy birthday to one of my favorite people in the whole world, Miss Dolly Parton. She turned 77 today. The reason I love her is
Okay, Dolly.
have you heard anything problematic about this woman in her life? No. She is
No.
graceful and she is a Christian woman, but she doesn't use it the way some people do, which is to hurt other and discriminate.
She's real. She's real.
She is a real Southern woman. She writes about real things, but she doesn't put down other people when she's singing about herself and her background, her culture, and her upbringing. She's amazing. She came out with a new gospel song with another goddess, Miss Dionne Warwick.
Yes.
Okay. Dolly Parton and Dionne Warwick have a gospel song. Okay. And that woman is going to come out with a rock album because she was inducted. Why is she doing this? Because she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and she felt that she wasn't worthy because she's not a rock star. And I'm like, yes, you are, ma'am.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
She's awesome.
But because she didn't feel she earned it, she's writing rock music to release her rock album.
If she got her Jolene, that's a rock ballad.
Exactly. Right? So she's 77. She's still out there. I love you. Be like Dolly is what I want to say, okay? She's a gracious, beautiful woman who doesn't hurt anybody and just celebrates herself without putting other people down. And I feel like she's someone really wonderful to emulate. So happy birthday and be like Dolly.
I know that's right. I love it. Ash, what's your ladies at the final say?
Mine is, I want to quote my BFF David, and it is, "Don't be a commie, root for America's team. Let's go."
I love it. Drop the mic. Let's go. Hey, I love it. Nicole, what is your ladies at the final say?
Well, this week was hard. Actually, yesterday I had a really, really bad day, and I let the demons get the best of me in my mind. And I noticed I didn't do one of my things that I normally do. And when the world fails you, don't fail yourself. You look around and you feel like there's no one there. Stop what you're doing, go into the bathroom, and I want you to look at yourself, look at your soul, look at your heart in the mirror, and you repeat after me saying, "You matter. You are loved.
You matter. You are loved." I'm going to do everything that you tell me to do because I freaking love it.
And
I make weird noises all the time now. I tell myself that I'm amazing.
Yes.
Go and hype yourself up in the bathroom and then come out with the beans. I used to do that when I first started at my job. I'd have to I wasn't going to the bathroom. I was literally going to the bathroom to talk to myself. And so, you have bad days, you have good days, but you look at yourself in the mirror. That's your bud.
You matter. Let's go.
Yeah. Love it.
Go. I absolutely love it. And
as you're a jerk.
You can see that we all have wonderful things to say, and we know that you guys do too. So please don't take it lightly. We want you to write in the comments. Tell us what your final say is, man. We are so excited that we get to do this show with you every week. Please tune in next Thursday, guys, because it's going down. We will know who's in the championships, which is absolutely amazing. Come back no matter. Me and Ash may have a really big smile or a really bad frown, but we will be here. We will be here. So I'm excited. I can't wait. We can't wait to celebrate with you guys. So tune in next week, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You already know all the other standard times. Please tune in. We cannot wait. So we are the Let's Talk Football Ladies Takeover, and we will see you next week. Bye, guys. Peace.
Oh boy.